What's up, witches? Blessed be and welcome to my channel on this beautiful sunny morning. I'm here for another unboxing for you, and this one is called the Ocean Oracle. This is one of two decks in my collection that I've been kind of in a tizzy about how I'm going to review them because they're massive. Ocean Oracle, What Seashells Reveal About Our True Nature by Michelle Hanson, 120-page book and 200 card deck. Yowza. Have a nice magnet box. All right. Everyone remembers spending a day at the beach as a child collecting seashells, but what if those seashells were more than just pretty objects? Can you see the rainbow I've got across here? I hope you can. What if those shells you held up to your ear as a child could actually tell you something about your hidden thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes? Ocean Oracle, What Seashells Reveal About Our True Nature, is the bridge to learning this secret language. Simply put, seashells function as tools that enable us to speak with our subconscious, allowing the inner self to communicate the information it considers most valuable for our growth. By listening to the shells with the guidance of Ocean Oracle, you can tap into your own innate wisdom and joy. Included with the book are 200 shell cards in full color, 4 full color plates, 8.5 by 17, with all shell photos in full color. Enjoy exploring the language of shells by yourself or with a group of friends. And this is by Beyond Words Publishing, 2004. We just have some images of the shells along the side. The sun is so bright that it's kind of washing things out. Uh-oh. I might have to pull my curtain closed. I don't want to do that. So here's the book. Nice little book. The following pages contain a guidebook to the language of shells. By discovering how to interpret this language, you will have at your fingertips the tools to uncover your hidden thoughts and feelings. Let Ocean Oracle help you find the way. Michelle Hanson, there she is. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for letting us see you. Michelle Hanson has devoted her life to studying the language of shells. After many years of interpreting seashells for family and friends, Michelle's success led her to take this unique talent to the public. Currently, Michelle writes a popular bi-monthly column and is a frequent speaker at seminars. She also has created a program to teach seashell divination to others. So, as promised, we have these 8.5 by 17 full color plates. So we have a name and appearance group with all of them. On the back, we have an intuition group. Then the second page here. This is the interaction group. And this is the behavior group. Now, I think that we need to go directly to the book with this. I'm going to dump the cards out, but okay. These are cards 1 to 100. Come on. And these are cards 101 to 200. So again, I am not flipping through this whole damn deck. They are seashells. Coral, and you can see all the kinds of shells. I mean, we will go through some. Might be better to just look at the mats. I mean, I showed you those, but we can look a little more closely. Hi, Pie. I'm going to scoot up without bumping his little head. Okay, wait. Kitten tags. Kitten tags. Say hi, Pie. And Phoebe. Look at the whisker dots on his face. Oh, my God. Unbearable. Pie. And, I mean, as crazy a boy as he is when he gets revved, this is as mellow as he is when he's not. You can just... He's just amazing. Okay, so let's go to the book here. Again, 2004, copyright. We have introduction, the source of meanings, the behavior group, the interaction group. So let's look at that first and what the groups are about. It's mentioned in the introduction, the meaning. Okay, let's go back to the introduction. Each of the 4 groups, let's see, there's a background of why she started doing this. 4 overview plates in the shell cards. Here's a short version of how it works. Oh, aren't you wonderful? To aid you in your reading, each of the 4 groups may be viewed at a glance using the enclosed overview plates. They, sorry, wait a minute. They allow you to see, kind of better. They allow you to see all the shells in the collection easily, and from this perspective, you select those shells that grab your attention as most attractive or those that most repulse you. The corresponding cards are then retrieved and arranged in whatever order feels right to you before they're turned over to reveal their meanings. Later chapters contain more specific instructions for setting up and interpreting readings, sample readings, and expanded explanations for each shell's meaning. Each of the 4 groups of meanings is sequenced according to how strongly its explanations are rooted in science. Since I began seashell reading still possessing a scientist's mindset, I originally felt most confident if the meaning was based on the behavior and anatomy of the mollusk. I get it. I was also comfortable in the meaning if the meaning was derived from mankind's inventive uses for shells and their inhabitants, such as money, tools, and medicine, or as a source of religious, artistic, or scientific inspiration. Okay, I want to go. In my search, I found 4 sources for deriving meanings. Based on these sources, I created 4 categories: behavior, interaction, name and appearance, and intuition. The meanings in the first group are derived from the behavior or anatomy of the mollusks. In the second, interaction, they come from the shell's interaction with humans. In the third, name and appearance, they are based on the shell's name and appearance. And lastly, the meanings of the intuition group are based on intuition or intention. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. All right. Now, your turn. Instructions for using the oracle. Who can perform readings? Anybody. You can do it for yourself or for others. How often should you have a reading? It's entirely up to you. How does shell divination work? If you enter a room with the television and radio turned off, the airwaves still contain news broadcasts. I like that. You may be oblivious to this and unable to tune in to the information until you physically turn on the television or radio to assist your reception. In the same way, our energy broadcasts volumes of information about us, but not all of us are turned on to receive. The shells function as tools to assist us in receiving the broadcast from our inner self. I really like that analogy. Just as turning on the television allows us to become aware of the news floating through the air currents surrounding us, the following steps will guide you to using the shells to receive their information. Quiet your mind. There's a section on reading for yourself and reading for another. Be open to the message that your higher self wants you to know. Choose your shells, arrange your shells, read meanings, interpret the message. Now, keys to interpretation. Remember what you're looking for. So saying, remember, keep the question in mind. Shells that repulse you may still have a positive message. Your eyes will see only the shells you need. Get out of the way of the message. Trust that the shells know what they're doing. And then she's got some samples here. All right. Folks, let's go. I think I am going to not do it with the mats. I think I'm going to shuffle and take 3. And, interestingly, because this is such a massively huge deck, this will probably be a shorter video because I can't go through all of them. But I want to say, as I glanced down, something really jumped out at me, and it is this number 28 card. So we're going to pull that one out as I immediately do the opposite of what I just said I was going to do. So, and there's another one that just jumped out, the 38 card. I'm kind of just glancing here. I didn't get smacked in the face off of that one like I did with this one. All right. And then I want to find one more here that's jumping out at me. I think I got it. Actually, I see 2 more. 169, 173, 156. Okay. What did I say? 169. And by all means, if we get, gobbledygook from this, then we will do it a different way. Because, hey, we got time. I ain't going anywhere. How about you? 73. And then what was the last one? 156. Here it is. All right. And it's kind of, I guess, a good idea with this deck to leave things in order. I mean, you can certainly do it with just shuffling the cards. Why wouldn't you? 101. Is that 17? Yep. But I mean, first of all, pain in the ass to put them back in order if you should need them to be in order for any reason. But why would you? I mean, you can just do a thing where you shuffle, but you're going to be shuffling this deck in chunks. Know that. Okay. Here are the pictures that jumped out at me, and I have not yet invited the ancestors and allies, guides and guardians to come in, be present. Flow through the creatures of the ocean, bring us information. And come on. I know my charcoal's still lit. There we go. All right, here we go. So what's my usual question? How do we survive and thrive through these times? Let's see if that's the question that's coming up here. This is the long-ribbed limpet. And it is a member of the the behavior group. Looking in Patella longicosta is the name of it. Looking for where the grass is greener, but needing to look in one's own backyard. Looking for answers outside oneself when they reside within. So the first thing here is we've got to get our eyes on our own work. Yeah, we've got to understand that we are driving our vehicle, and if we want to get someplace in this lifetime, we have to make choices that get us there. So this is talking about envy and looking at other people and thinking they've got it way better than us. So the reminder is also that everybody has their shit. Sometimes when things are really shitty for me, if I'm driving somewhere, every single house that I pass, I'm reminding myself there's high drama going on in there. There's drama going on here. There are secrets. There are shames. There are all kinds of things. Every household has them. There is no such thing as this perfect family that has it all together, and we don't. So remind yourself of that. All right, then we have this beautiful nautilus. Yes, pearly nautilus, Nautilus pompilius. Pressure and stress. Okay, 169. This is the kind of shell that is in my my ocean water bowl right there. I have the two of them open like this. Bear's paw, Hippopus hippopus is what it's called. Hippopus hippopus. That is amusing as hell. Being nurturing, being an affectionate, nature-loving individual. Then we have the purple Pacific droop. Depression, possibly requiring therapy. And then we have apple snail, Pomacia peludosa, losing innocence, confronting reality. Drupamorum is that one. Okay. So here we are, judging ourselves in terms of how we perceive other people. This brings a lot of pressure and stress to perform, to compare. And remember that anytime you are coming out with a judgment, follow it up with the question, compared to what? So, ooh, these people really have it together. Their house is nicer than mine. Okay, compared to what? Their house compared to mine. Those people are successful. Compared to what? You know, and I mean, the answer to this is compared to me, obviously. But when you're judging your own life, you know, I'm not successful. I really failed at that. compared to what? Just to, as a reminder that everything is relative. There are no absolutes. Life is complex. People are complicated. So the constant comparing and judging leads us to a tremendous amount of pressure and stress. Now, being nurturing, being an affectionate, nature-loving individual. So how do we thrive? And I'm looking at kind of those two together. Thriving by being out in nature, by nurturing yourself, by nurturing your friendships and your loved ones, by putting love out into the world, by pouring love into the things that you do every day, your interactions with even strangers. Love, kindness, compassion, and nurturing. And nature loving. Get your ass out in nature and let it love you back. Then we have depression, possibly requiring therapy, and losing innocence, confronting reality. So here's where you've really got to be open and honest with yourself and ask yourself, how am I doing today? And if the answer is I'm doing really shitty today, okay, then maybe tomorrow will be better. But if you get to tomorrow and you're doing really shitty tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, then get yourself some help. Please go talk to somebody. You deserve it. Everybody deserves dedicated time for their own care, particularly if you're in crisis or depression. So folks, I know we've been through the worst time that any of us have experienced in our lives. And I want you to be well. Please, please, please do not stigmatize yourself if you are struggling. Would be kind of abnormal not to be struggling with what we've collectively been through. I am not struggling with my depression and anxiety disorder because I know how it functions. I know how it dysfunctions, and my self-care is daily, and my family is amazing. And I also know that I am my own safety net. I know if things get bad, I will go for help, as I have done so many times in the past. If you've never been to counseling, please be encouraged. This isn't a place where you're going to go and somebody's going to tell you what's wrong with you. This is a place where you're going to go and somebody's going to help you understand yourself. Yeah. And it's a sacred place where you can dump your load. So, all right, little PSA about counseling there. I hope you're listening. Please, if you go to the doctor and you say, I'm having a horrible time, and he puts you on meds, please also go to counseling. The meds can't fix your trauma. They can fix your chemicals. They can't fix the underlying trauma. And until you connect to that underlying trauma and process it through, your chemicals aren't going to change themselves, And if you do go through that, there's a very strong possibility that meds can go away at some point. And if they can't, thank God you have meds to help you function. So please don't judge yourself for being human under a tremendous amount of stress. All right, now ends the PSA. So losing innocence, confronting reality, and connected to the depression here, yeah, we really need to be brutally honest with where we are as a culture, as a society, with where you are. And I also want to say, because we're under so much cultural stuff and across the board stuff, if this isn't exactly the time to start digging up your personal trauma, that's okay. We're dealing with enough. But if what's going on externally is triggering your personal trauma to the point where you cannot function, then you need to go get it addressed. All right. So I'm going to look at this one in the middle, the being nurturing and loving, because all of these other things are talking about stressors. So the pressure and stress of comparing yourself to others and finding yourself wanting. The depression of losing our innocence and realizing that America is full of fucking white supremacists. That's depressing as hell. So how do we deal with this? We nurture. We show affection to ourselves. And we get out in nature. That was pretty fucking amazing. The fact that I just went with, these are what's standing out to me. So I would say You know, we can look at some of these beautiful, beautiful shells. But I would say, yes, use this deck exactly the way she's told you to use it. And on the front end, if you're using it a lot, there are so many shells that it would be kind of hard to get them all memorized. But if you did get to a place where you've got them all memorized and you can game the system getting a reading that way, then it would be a great time to go to, you know, shuffling the cards. I mean, they're gorgeous. And let's look at the book and see how the book information differs from what's on the cards here. Let's go for the long-ribbed limpet. Why does that sound so almost pornographic? I got a long-ribbed limpet for you, baby. The limp part doesn't sound so good. Oh, dear. Okay. Meaning, looking for where the grass is greener, but needing to look. Okay, so this meaning part is the same that is on the card. Then we have explanation. Limpets live on rocks by suctioning to hollow depressions called scars, which they create with acid secretions. They leave these depressions at night searching for food. No matter where their travels take them, they return to the identical scar from which they came. Even when scientists reorient the rock, the limpets find their original homes. With this Wizard of Oz-like sentiment that there is no place like home, this shell indicates that instead of looking for outside sources of advice, you should look inside yourself. Coming home to yourself, coming home, coming home, coming home. The part that stood out to me too is the going back to the identical scar that you came from, looking at how we re-traumatize ourselves, how we return to the familiar even if it's painful, because at least it's a pain that we know. So that's another vibe. And yeah, okay, let's look at the next one. Pearly Nautilus. As mentioned with the chambered nautilus, the nautilus shell is constructed with a series of incrementally larger compartments or chambers. The newest and largest is attached as the animal outgrows its current residence. The nautilus floods its empty back chambers with water to increase its depth in the ocean. When it wants to rise, it forces gas through a tube called a siphuncle. All right, Beavis and Butthead moment there, which runs back through the connecting channel, piercing the center of each chamber. Oh, okay. So I wondered about that. So there's a tube that goes through each of the walls. The pressurized gas expels the fluid contents and allows the animal to ascend. Thus, the nautilus employs pressurized gas as a means to control its buoyancy. The back chambers serve as ballast tanks, which is the same principle utilized by the submarine, one model of which was aptly named the Nautilus. Okay. So, I mean, pressurized gas to go up and down. I didn't really get any increased meaning from that. But the card does talk about just pressure and stress. Let's come over here to the Purple Pacific Droop. And she's got them also. I mean, this is a great book just for studying shells because let's look at the behavior group. We've got angel wings, corals. These are kind of mixed. Then we have, I'm looking for the beginning of the next section here. So wait, can I do this quicker? I probably can. 65 is the number of the last card, so I was right there. Anyway, then we have the interaction group, and we have abalone at the beginning, Babylon bubble. So we've got kind of a alphabetical. Shank, clam, cockle, conch. All the conches are together. The cones are together. Then we've got the cowries are in a separate section with a preface to it. Most univalves live inside their shells. Accordingly, the interior of the shells is smooth in order to prevent damage to the mollusk's soft bodies. Cowries, however, like to wrap themselves around the outside of their shells. requiring a smooth exterior shell surface which gives the shell a polished appearance. The underside of these shells contains the identifying characteristics of all cowries, a central puckered ridge that ancient Europeans thought resembled the genital tract of their sows. With this inspiration, they called these porcellana, which translates as little pig. When Marco Polo returned from China with never before seen glazed pottery, the surface so resembled these porcellana shells that the Europeans called the pottery porcelain. I love information. Hence, the derivation of the word porcelain comes from the man's interaction with cowrie shells. They've been used by humans in many ways throughout history. In ancient Egypt, small cowries were placed in mummy eye sockets for vision in the afterlife. In Asia, because of the resemblance to female reproductive organs, pregnant women hold cowries to facilitate childbirth. The most widespread use of cowries was as currency. Entire trade routes were established around the supply of a particular species of money cowrie. In order to accommodate the many interactions with cowries, I've assigned a variety of meanings to shells 81 through 85 on specific cowrie uses in various locations throughout the world. All right. Again, fabulous, fabulous information if you were at all interested in shells. Also, think about what you could do with this deck as far as spell work. Everybody's got a pile of shells somewhere. Every witch, sorry, not everybody, but every witch has a bowl or a basket of shells somewhere, I'm willing to bet. And you could look through and find out what the meaning of those shells are and employ them in water spells. All right, 173. Oh, Purple Pacific Droop. All it says is depression possibly requiring therapy done. There is no additional meaning on that card. Very interesting. Very interesting that they all get unique treatments. And then the last one here, Apple Snail, Losing Innocence. Explanation: in the Bible, after eating fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge, Adam and Eve's innocent state in Eden's paradise was lost forever. Becoming aware of their naked bodies, they felt shame for the first time. Note: loss of naivete is often accompanied by emotional pain. It can hurt to discover that the world is not as previously believed. That's the truth. All right, so, you know, the loss of innocence, what that was them becoming judgmental, you know, them stepping out of Buddha mind. The knowledge of good and evil. Good and evil, think about that. Good, bad, judgment, suffering. Ah! Yeah. All right. 169, let's look at the bear's paw. The person picking this shell would mother everybody if possible. This is the person who can be counted on to provide hugs, the proverbial earth mother, though it may apply to either a man or a woman with nurturing qualities. So, what do we do to survive and thrive? I'll tell you. We find something or somebody to love. Blum, blum, blum. I did get a little bath by my pie. I did get a bath. We find somebody to love and care for. We take our focus. Okay, so if the first card talked about our focus being external and how that brings stress because we're comparing ourselves to each other. The one in the middle says putting your focus externally to give love and nurturing is the way forward, is the way to take care of ourselves. I can tell you it's true, because having this little boy to love has brought, oh my God, I can't stop kissing him, brought so much love and happiness to my family, including my other cats. Mitchell has somebody to play with, and he is a happy, happy, happy boy. Gilbert still hisses, but that's Gilbert. Okay, I will stop kissing my kitten now. Oh, I lied. No, I won't. I won't ever stop kissing my kitten. All right, I hope you got something out of that. I sure did. It is an excellent oracle. I really like things that are aimed at like shells, trees. I need to go look to see if there is one, but I'm not aware that there's like a bird deck, and there should be a bird deck. Anyway, I dig this deck. Many, many ways to use it. Many ways to get information from it on all levels, on a spiritual level, a personal level, a practical scientific level, a magical level. Just wow, what a great deck. Sorry we couldn't go through all the cards, but you know, that's the way it is. I think I showed you some of these. We can take another look real quick. Just at the variety. I mean, look at this one down here, this kind of spike. Looks like a wormy sort of thing. And then this was the name and appearance. I can't remember which one group I showed you. It might have been this one. I think it was this one. Then we'll take a look at the behavior group again. A little wormy down in the bottom there again. That one I'm finding very interesting. I think I'm going to pull that out before I go. And then we have interaction with the abalone shells. All right. Which one was that? Which one did I say? Number 7. I'm kind of repulsed by it a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see. Okay. The number 7 card. Do you see why I'm repulsed? It's kind of buggy looking. It's and also beautiful. West Indian chiton tuberculatus, physical or verbal abuse by others. Ooh, shit. That's not good. Okay, so what am I seeing there is election aftermath. Explanation. Chiton shells are composed, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, are composed of 8 separate overlapping plates. This arrangement allows the animals to conform to the contours of the rocks to which they suction themselves. They have enough flexibility to curl up into a ball when molested, so it looks like what it looks like. When people who curl up into a ball, it is often a defensive posture of last resort to ward off an attacker's blows. So I would say as a last thing, moving forward, any attacks that come, curl yourself up into a damn ball and roll away. You don't have to take anybody's abuse. You don't have to hip anybody to what's what. You know, it's not your job to explain things and justify. Curl up into a ball, protect yourself. Self-protect mode can be okay for a little while. All right. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Please hit like so more people can see this video, and subscribe. Subscribe, please. That would be awesome. You can also send me a donation or a deck, and I will read to you from that deck in my unboxing. You can join my Discord or my Patreon. Lots of things to come. I'm so grateful for the feeling of moving forward from the Mercury retrograde, not to mention the current unpleasantness. Anyhow, I hope that you have an amazing day. Please stay safe. Continue your safety protocols. Roll up into your little ball and put your mask on. I will see you tomorrow for another unboxing. Until then, this is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.